This video is for informational and educational purposes only, so you do have to make your own trading decisions. I'm not a registered investment advisor. So penny stock trading can be very risky, and you do have to own your own trades. So CTRV, this was the big hot pick of the day. All the chat rooms were all over this thing. It opened up right here. Let's see, it started the day at 366, which was a huge gap up from the previous close of 211. And at the time, that seemed like a big jump. But as you can see, it went from that 350 range all the way up to $6 by 10:30 in the morning. So just a huge super spike in the morning. I was watching this on the 1-minute chart early in the day. I didn't have any available funds to trade this, and man, I wish I would have, because I think it was right here at 355, about 9:37 or so. I noticed that this thing could really do a super spike, and that's exactly what happened. It did exactly that. I thought maybe $4.50 to $5 a share was possible. I didn't expect $6, but sure enough, it did happen. After it hit $6, you can see it faded all afternoon, and each bounce, it just wasn't meaningful. You got little 10, 20 cent bounces all the way down. Nothing really tradable. I'm trying to find the spot. I think it was right around, probably closer to 2:30, 3 o'clock. I posted a tweet that this had reached its 50% Fibonacci retracement level at $4.20 per share. And it did overshoot that level. It hit 420, came all the way down. I think the low was around 403 right there. But I did say this could be a good tradable bounce. And sure enough, it bottomed at 403 there, 17 cents below that 50% retracement, which is okay. Especially with penny stocks, I've noticed Fibonacci and Elliott Wave and indicators like that don't always happen to the penny. But anyway, it did bounce all the way up to 485 by the close. It closed at 475. And if you check out the final 4 hours of trading here, it's kind of sloppy, but you can kind of see a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder forming for an inverse head and shoulders. And the price target measures to just under $5 per share. Well, price hit 485 by the close, just under that price target. So I do happen to think this is going to rally in the morning. Even if it's just a brief pop to $5, I think that price target's going to be met. You can see it's kind of got this megaphone pattern. And if it does spike in the morning, it'll hit that upper trend line right there near $5. But if you go out to the daily chart, got to go back quite a ways. Looking at an 8-month, you can see $5 has proven resistance here on this occasion, many times in June, and then again in August. So breaking $5 is going to be a challenge, but if it can do that in the morning, that might be a buy trigger for you. But I would not be a buyer right away in the morning if if this thing is unable to regain that $5 level. Because if you buy, let's say price opens at 475, you're looking at gosh, I can't even think what that is, a 5% gain. If that's just not worth it. And with the expectation that $5 is going to fail. But this thing did prove that it wasn't just a one pop wonder kind of thing. A lot of these penny stock plays get news in the morning, they pop, and then they just fade all day and they die off. And this could be a dead cat bounce. We'll see. Like I said, if $5 can't be taken, this thing will probably continue to fade. So the trade I was in for the day was AVXL. This wasn't the hottest play of the day, but it was steady and consistent. I've been watching this thing for many months. I've traded it in and out many times and been very successful. I've had great luck with this stock. So on Friday, this is a 5-minute chart. When I saw this break above $1.44, I bought in. And unfortunately, I got executed at $1.48. which wasn't unfortunate. I was just, a few minutes late. So I got in at $1.48. Price closed at $1.60. I felt really good about this kind of triangular pattern here. It just suggested that the up move was going to continue, so I held through the weekend. I didn't make a video over the weekend, and I wanted to so bad because I figured this was going to take off towards at least $1.80 today. I went to Disney World over the weekend for my son's first birthday, so I kind of, what do you call it, just took a break. Took a break from the stock market and charts and everything. It was a nice little break, so I got back yesterday, and I didn't even feel like making a video. Sometimes that happens. Anyway, so I wanted to make one tonight because I still feel I have a lot of good information to share on this. I'm heavily invested in it, about 14,000 shares, a little over. So I like to focus on one stock in particular and really just understand all the aspects of it. So anyway, this morning, price opened at $1.60. And it took off. It never really looked back, all the way up to $1.90 a share. And after, what is that, about 11 a.m., it retraced a little bit down to $1.77 for the low. It felt very controlled, not like a panic sell, so I held on. You can see there's a bit of support there to $1.78. Price bounced back up to $1.85, and then it was just in this tight range all afternoon in the low $1.80 range, $1.82, $1.83. And it did get a late day break. In the final 30 or 40 minutes of trading, price moved up from $1.83 and tagged a new high at $1.92. So this is a very similar setup to what happened on Friday, kind of like a symmetrical triangle look with the breakout end of day. It's very similar here. So let's go out a little bit here. Take a look at the daily chart. I got so much to say about this thing, all kinds of ideas. I've been watching this thing for months, and when I saw this choppy action in here, it reminded me of an Elliott wave, fourth wave pattern, and I figured there was going to be at least one more rally higher, which is what has been happening the past 2 days. So I'm so glad I jumped in because this has been a nice move. Another thing I want to point out while we're looking at this daily chart, this typically runs for a couple days. So as you can see here, it ran for 4 days, got a sell-off. Here it ran for about another 4 days before it started selling off. Same thing here, 4 days, sell-off. So when we get here, you could say this is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, but these are very small candles compared to here and here. But they could count. I'm not positive what's going on there. So my point is this could have another day, maybe 2 at the most to run. But I'm really banking on that tomorrow is the final day. And typically with these penny stocks, I'm looking for a blow-off top, where it shoots 10, 20, 30% higher and then crashes. Even though I'm looking for that, I don't think that's going to be the case with the AVXL. Every stock trades differently. Look here. After a 4-day run, it gapped just a few pennies higher and put in this bearish engulfing pattern. After this 4-day run, gapped just a little bit higher, sold off. Same thing here. Actually opened at this closing price and lost all of the previous day's gains. So that being said, tomorrow, I don't think this is going to have a blow-off. I mean, anything's possible, but I'm looking for a move to $2 a share, maybe $2.10 if it overshoots, or worst case scenario, this opens near $1.89 and just kind of sells off from there. And my intention is to sell around $2. If price continues a little bit higher, I'll be out around $2.10. I'm not going to be a dreamer on this one and assume, it's going to the moon, going to $3 tomorrow. The thing about AVXL is it's got a pretty heavy float, so it doesn't move as strongly as other penny stock plays when they get news, and they're going up 50, 100% in one day. So you got to be careful with this one. For instance, today alone, just offhand, I don't know, market cap increased from say 190 million to 230 million, somewhere around there. So I mean, this is already putting on some heavy gains as far as market capitalization. And if you guys remember AQXP from a few months ago, let's see if I can bring that up real quick. Its market cap is around 220 million right now. That's kind of where it has settled. Even after, I mean, it blew off. I don't even know what that was. $500 million market cap, 600, whatever. But as of now, AQXP and AVXL are almost trading in parity. And I'd posted a tweet back in August, right around here, that AQXP and AVXL should be near the same market capitalization. And that has finally come to light today with the AVXL's big move. So considering they're in phase 2 trials, I understand this company has great potential. I love it long-term and medium-term, everything. But being in phase 2 and having a $230 million market cap, this thing is finally starting to realize some of its value, more so than when it was down here at $1. So you got to be a little careful. And the last thing that I wanted to point out is it relates to having a heavy float. If you go to a weekly chart, go back 10 years on this thing. I mean, this thing's been trading a long time, and it's kind of hard to see on this small of a time frame, but I went through and checked each bar. This huge rally back in 2007, this one back in 2009, 2010, there were a couple rallies. We got the big rally here in August. What I'm trying to point out is the range of these bars on the big moves is normally between 50 and 80 cents. So as of today, for this weekly move, which is only one day so far, we've already got a 30-cent move. So you can't, I just realistically don't think you can expect more than a 50-cent to 80-cent move. So that would mean $2.10 per share to $2.40 per share. So unless there's huge news, and of course this thing will take off, but considering there's very, very strong resistance here at $2, oh, you got to go back farther. Look here, look at this horizontal line. A lot of, well, it held as support back in 2009, early 2010 at $2, and then $2 acted as resistance in late 2011, early 2012 on many different occasions. So on the first attempt at breaking $2 tomorrow, I don't think it's going to be successful. We don't have any recent news. This has already gained, I don't even know, 30, 40% over the past week or two. I think if it doesn't stop out at $1.90 tomorrow, at basically at today's closing price, I think it's going to bump a little bit higher to $2, maybe overshoot to 210. But I think that's going to be it for now. So don't be a dreamer. Just protect your gains. Don't chase this thing. There's just too much overhead resistance to be buying in at $1.90 when it's quite possibly going to get or hit a wall at $2. So play it smart. If you can get out tomorrow at $2, the history of this thing has shown that it does retrace its gains. I know it didn't today and Friday, but that's very typical. This thing moves very strongly in one direction and typically very strongly in another, in the opposite direction when it's time to sell off. It did that here, as well, and then here. Every time. So tomorrow, if you get some more gains, consider taking your profits and just move on to the next play until maybe things get closer to, I think it's a November 7th conference where AVXL might release data. Of course, no one knows, but you can trade into the hype running or